I dare you to name me one game that has grabbed you by the throat so intently, giving you beautiful cinematics, well-written and in-depth characters, a gameplay loop so addictive it should be on the DEA's list of controlled substances. All just to make you think to yourself, oh, maybe the French aren't so bad after all. I mean, I'm basically being held at gunpoint by the entire city of Paris while playing this game. Now, even though I have a few very minor complaints, I can't find it in myself to even bring them up because this game is just so freaking good. Clair does so many things right where other big studios have failed. They've managed to make a compelling, creative, and most of all passionate game. And you can see that passion, that love for making things in every aspect of this game. It will never cease to blow my mind how a team of 30-something ex-Ubisoft devs came together to give a big middle finger to the industry, and it paid off dividends, with Clair being one of the most highly rated games in recent history. Now, I could spend the next 15 minutes or so glazing this game, and don't you worry, I will. But for this video specifically, we'll be discussing the prologue of the game, and showing the different ways Clair uses art forms like music, visuals, writing, and even cinematography to create one of the most memorable intros in gaming history. Don't worry, there won't be any spoilers in this video apart from the intro of the game, which amounts to about 30 minutes of playtime. However, I do plan on making videos about Clair in the future, discussing specifically character development and the main story as a whole. So if that's something that'll interest you, make sure to stay tuned for that by hitting the subscribe button and pressing the bell for notifications. But without further ado, let's delve into the world of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. For those of you who don't know what this game's about, it's set in a fantasy-like version of Paris called Lumiere. Every year, a giant lady in the far north of the world wakes up and paints a new number on her giant monolith. Every year, anyone who's the same age or older than that number dies, erased, instantly, just snapped out of existence. The people of Lumiere call this the Gommage, and every year they send expeditioners to stop the paintress, using their last years of life on a hopeless excursion to make sure the paintress can never paint death again.
If you're gonna give someone flowers, you should probably do it before they wither and die.
What, the flower? Or Sophie?
Ooh, dark. Sophie would approve. Hey, you said it, not me. The others are waiting for you. You're supposed to be helping with the festival.
With what? Putting up 3 tables? They'll manage.
You underestimate Lumiere's enthusiasm for the expedition. There's at least 5 tables.
We begin by meeting our main character, Gustave, throwing rocks as far as he can towards the paintress. An act of defiance, although fruitless. For in Gustave's own words,
You know, hobbies don't always have to be useful. I'm enjoying the uselessness of today and readying my usefulness for tomorrow. And soon, I'll get to do a lot more than throw rocks.
already the game is setting up so much for us symbolically, showing us the powerlessness these characters have in the face of a godlike being like the paintress, through the simple act of throwing a rock. Also, pay attention to the words Gustave says as well, as it defines his character throughout the entire game. He understands the dire situation they've all been placed in, the sacrifices the city makes every year, and it seems like he's been numb to the pain, to some extent, finding some humor in the sorrow. Despite that, there's still so much hope and determination left in him. He has faith in the expedition, and in himself. The music in this segment, although beautiful, is almost melancholic, imposing a feeling of loss on the audience, readying us for what's to come. As we move through Lumiere, the music changes to a lighter motif of the same Lumiere theme. Same notes and cadence, but this time strummed by a guitar solely. Now, I'm no music theory expert, I'm not going to pretend like I am one, but it is worth mentioning that almost every song in the original soundtrack of the game is played in a minor key. So many of the soundtracks have different cadences and evoke different emotions, but at the heart of the music theory is that feeling of melancholy throughout each piece. It's very subtle, but very clever motif that's constantly reinforced throughout the game. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on the music, so please leave a comment down below letting me know what else you noticed or what else you think.
She's popular. I'm sure she already has a necklace full of flowers.
I can imagine. What?
You look tense.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you need. A little jewel.
No.
Come on, it'll loosen you up. You can't go and see Sophie all somber and tense.
As the game continues, we hear dialogues between Maëlle and Gustav, getting an idea of their sibling-like relationship, while exploring the world of Lumiere a bit. When Gustav and Sophie finally do meet, the camera does a few very intentional things. At first, they separate Gustav from Sophie and her friends, showing the disconnect between them and representing Gustav's internal dilemma of feeling that he and Sophie have grown apart.
Can we talk?
Gustav. I love you all.
That's for your, if there's room.
There's always room.
You know,
I
I'm
missed you.
sorry that... I
You
miss
don't
you
need
too.
Okay.
You go.
You.
You know how I feel? I wish things had been... You know, I often think... Another path, you know, another future.
Still can't finish your sentences, can you?
Yep, that hasn't changed.
I missed that.
In the following frame, both Gustav and Sophie are seen, but the distance between them still gives us that feeling that these two aren't as close as they once were. There's still that chemistry between them. The writers acknowledge that, but through this dialogue, we also learn the harsh reality that despite the two characters' love for each other, some outside force is stopping them.
In a different world, right?
We'll break the cycle, so she can't steal anyone else's future.
Stubborn people change the world. And you are the most stubborn person I know. Thank you.
These are the kinds of conversations I love to see. The ones that don't focus on anything in particular. Just two adults trying to work out their issues and go through life one step at a time. Sandfall Studios is incredible at making these characters relatable, without defining the character by a specific and rigid trait. Both Sophie and Gustav are complex characters with multitudes. Both are hurting and both want what's best for the other, but don't know how to go about it or what to do. As you move closer and closer to the harbor, the once seemingly empty city feels bustling now, with people to talk to around every corner. Through these side conversations, we learn so much more about the world and the characters. We learn that Sophie was a loved member of the community, that she and Gustav aren't the only ones suffering, but that countless families have their own tales of sorrow on this eerily beautiful day. This man and his son fought on the day of his gumage. This lady hates the expeditions because she resents that it took her father away from her. And this guy's hiding in a trash can because he thinks the Patriots won't see him. There's a lot of people to talk to, but the most interesting dialogue comes between Sophie and this woman.
Marie, your flowers. I didn't know about. I thought you were younger. And yet you didn't have children.
I'm not having this conversation with you again. Not today.
Do you care so little about the future of Lumiere? How can you be so selfish?
I'm not selfish enough to bring others into our doomed world. I know we are not many to think like this now. And it destroyed my relationship with the person I loved the most. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to spend this moment with him. And you should cherish this moment with your daughter.
Sorry. See you at the harbor.
Good luck, Mary.
You could also talk to Maëlle to learn the same thing, but basically Sophie and Gustav broke up because Gustav wanted to have kids. Sophie saw having kids as destining them for a life of torment as orphans. It's fucking heartbreaking. More than anything, because I understand both of their points of view. In Sophie's words, it's an impossible decision, one that hopefully no one will have to make should the expedition succeed. Fast forwarding a little bit to the harbor itself, and I'll just let this play for a bit because there's a lot to discuss.
Sophie asked us to bring you your coat.
We sewed up the sleeve so you don't have to keep rolling it up.
You guys know how to sew?
Sophie helped us. Turns out it's not that hard. You really should have done this ages ago.
You did this.
Constantly, we see this theme of hope echoing throughout every aspect of this scene. Today is a sad and tragic day for everyone, and yet the city of Lumiere finds some comfort in this ceremonial send-off. Gustav himself lights up when he sees his apprentices, reminding himself and the player why he's doing all of this, for the future generations to come.
Yeah, of course not. What? I know that face.
You mean a lot to them. I can tell.
Yeah, they mean a lot to me too. Legacy can take many forms, right?
Yeah,
You told me that.
right.
Why?
I wanted to see you wearing it.
Oh, you like uniforms now?
This too is your legacy.
In a way, it's yours too.
Legacy can take many forms, right? As Gustav dons the expeditioner uniform Sophie made for him, the music transforms into this triumphant melody, making this line so much more powerful. A beautiful symbolic representation of how the two are inseparable. Their fates are woven together, no matter what path life takes them on. They both look out over the water, both are nervous, but Sophie seems prepared, while Gustav, terribly anxious. They hold hands and prepare for what's to come. Then, the music changes. The camera cuts from a wide shot of the harbor to a medium shot, framing Gustav and Sophie alone. The atmosphere itself changes. Petals carried by the wind all flies towards the towering monolith in the north. The camera rotates around Gustav in a Dutch angle, giving this feeling of uneasiness. From the look on Gustav's face, he's feeling the same way. camera rotates back to only show Sophie, Gustav, and the paintress. Black and white. As she wakes from her sleep, all color, all life is literally sucked out of the scene. Her and her monolith tower over Sophie and Gustav, who can barely even be seen. They are powerless in the face of this god. Just as quickly as it began, the entire harbor withers away, leaving only the two of them in the frame once again. Scene after scene, we see everyone you were able to talk to, everyone you just saw in Lumiere, withering away, making the once bustling city feel empty once more. A wide shot of the entire city, the same one from the very introduction of the game, but littered with clouds of petals. The use of the same long shot from the intro shows us the severity of the gommage, really giving us an idea of the toll this annual event takes on the residents of Lumiere.
I'm here.
Another wide shot of the harbor. Gustav is literally all alone, with nothing in front of him but his ultimate goal. As he mourns, he also looks off into the distance, determined. He feels useless today, but his usefulness is being readied for tomorrow. The camera cuts one last time, showing us only Gustav and the paintress, our protagonist, his motivation, and his goal. All laid out for us flawlessly. Next, we see the aftermath of the gommage. While others grieve for their lost loved ones, for the expeditioners grieving is not an option, because tomorrow is the big day, when Gustav and his team set sail to the continent. While there's a lot to do at this farewell party, like get a haircut or drink with CL, the man I'm most focused on is this beautiful bald beast named Antoine. Antoine is a treasure trove of information, especially in the tutorial. We learned that he and Gustav have had a bit of a rivalry as the smartest men in Lumiere, both as talented inventors. We also learned the timeline of the world, that the fracture happened 67 years ago, which caused the continent to split into multiple parts, sending Lumiere to where it is now. That's also the time when the paintress started painting her numbers, beginning at 100. And Anton's a softie, that's the real reason why we love him.
I hereby officially end our feud. With your departure, Lumiere loses a brilliant light. And a good friend.
You big softy.
All right, here's a token. Go and spend it on something.
It's been a while since a game made the simple act of talking to everyone you meet so rewarding, without actually giving you anything for doing it. Simply just talking to them is enjoyable enough. After some child abuse, Gustav's sister prepares for a big speech, sending off Expedition 33.
Expeditioners, the Sword of Lumiere. We honor your dedication. We do not take for granted that you dedicate your final year of life to keeping hope alive for all of Lumiere. Some of you are leaving to change the world, others to discover the secrets of our universe. Some to protect loved ones, others to find meaning in our all-too-short lives. As you sail into the unknown, know that Lumiere stands with you. When you battle the Paintress, know that Lumiere fights with you.
Powerful cuts from character to character, while the music swells, creating this ever-growing feeling of epic and adventure. Through these close-up cuts, we see the array of emotions between all the expeditioners. The excitement, the fear, the courage, the sadness. Through it all, one thing is clear. Every one of them is determined. Determined to see their mission through no matter the cost. With every shot, the monolith can be seen in the distance, again, constantly reinforcing their ultimate goal. Every one of them are united in this motivation. We get one final wide shot of Expedition 33 setting sail, before the final scene of the prologue.
Thanks to you, Expedition 33.
For this last scene, I really can't say anything without letting it play out in its entirety, so please enjoy.
How did you survive the Gommage? Which expedition are you from? Fall back! We need to go! He's not following. Putain! What the fuck? Who the fuck was that?
Merde! What do we do now?
Regroup at the rally point. The indigo tree. Come on! Move! Fucking snap out!
So, there's a lot to discuss, so let's just start at the beginning. When we first land, there's no music. Every color is dimmed and muted, and the only sounds we're aware of are diegetic sounds. Essentially, the difference between diegetic and non-diegetic sounds comes to whether the character themselves can hear it. A narrator would be considered a non-diegetic sound, while a radio going off in the scene would be considered diegetic, because the characters can hear it. With no non-diegetic sound, we are literally in the shoes of the characters, acutely aware and waiting for any step, any motion, any break in this tension. As the expeditioners land, we hear it, a thump, an echo. With no other sounds playing, this thump is deafening. They want us to be aware of this sound for a few reasons. Number one, the sound gives us this feeling of malice, of doom, that is obviously tied in with what comes next. While the second reason is the object itself. What's making this sound? Why is it so prominent? It's a cane. Before we ever see the man, we already have an idea of his appearance. He holds a cane. He must be old. Wait, I thought there weren't any old people. Oh my god, conspiracy! It's so simple and yet so fucking clever how they use sound design to build images of characters and reinforce their core concepts. This man is bad news. Everything about him sets off alarm bells in your head, and that's 100% intentional. Shout out to Philip Hartsthorne on YouTube for pointing out the cane sounds to me. You should all check him out. He is a filmmaker and actor who analyzes cinematic language in video games. The old man does what any old man would do in this situation and completely annihilates the entire expedition. There is so much chaos going on, so much death and destruction. The expeditioners can't even see who or what they're fighting against. The once confident and almost careless expeditioners are now faced with the gruesome reality. Everything is meant to distraught and confuse us. The use of fog in the scene literally makes the threat unseen and unknown. One by one, the once fortified ranks of the expeditions are reduced to a single man. Just like at the harbor, Gustav is left all alone. But this time, there seems to be no ray of hope, no goal, no way out. Just meaningless death. The man who seemed so sad and yet so full of hope for the future is now crippled by his own fear, unable to even run in the face of certain death. And just as suddenly as their expedition ended, Act 1 begins. Thank you all so much for watching. We haven't been able to upload in a while because of real life getting in the way, but going forward, I plan on making videos much more frequently. As I mentioned earlier, I do plan on making more videos about Claire. The ones I already have planned out will be talking about specific characters, analyzing their development throughout the story. I'll be starting with everyone's favorite mustached man, Gustav, so be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest videos. I can't tell you enough how much I love this game. So if this video was something you liked and you'd like to see more Clair related content in the future, please let us know by leaving a comment and like down below. I hope you all have a great day, and once again, thank you all so much for watching.